but you know, it's not out of the question that this thunderstorm could produce a tornado. I'm just updating everything. Still not seeing a whole lot of anything. I'm seeing a lot of reports though of hail on the Storm Prediction Center's website and their storm reports section. Just a lot of reports of hail. I got quarter size. I got paint pond, of course. Let's see. I've seen 1.5 inches. Just a lot of reports of hail. Again, the biggest one I think I saw was golf ball. Haven't seen anything bigger than that. It looks like the dust is starting to line up a little bit, but it's still causing visibility issues in the distance. So, you know, if you're in this area, definitely take shelter immediately. And it's just going to be a crazy thunderstorm. Anything for you, Emily? I'm still not seeing.
I'm getting several pictures texted to me from the Fremont area and incredibly large hail. It looks like about 2.5 to 3 inch hail, just based off of the pictures that I'm seeing. Really large, solid hailstones with this. And we do have the picture of some of the hailstones. These are on the smaller side, but this is quite a bit. I can't quite see where the location is. Our banner's covering that up.
North Bend.
North Bend. Okay, so this is from North Bend, a huge quantity of hail. And now as the storm has kind of progressed, we're still seeing a very large hail core that's been holding together. So that hail threat extends between Nickerson and Fremont. It's going to move into Arlington and into Kennard, likely with the track of this. So the hail threat is kind of on the northern section of the storm, and the tornado threats, that's been on the southern edge of the storm with that leg that's kind of sticking out. So Arlington, we gave you that heads up a few minutes ago. Now that tornado potential is moving right into your area. So you need to be taking shelter, getting into your basement. Around Fremont, especially if you're on the western half of town, you can go ahead and get out of the basement. I would not go outside, however. We still have the potential for very strong winds behind this storm, as well as the concern for hail in the area. So you just want to stay inside and let this pass. If you're on really the far eastern half of town, you need to stay in your basement for a little while longer. Let this pass into Arlington. You need to be in your basement now. This has been holding together really well. The downside of where this storm is located is that the radar site is so close down to the south, so that kind of obscures some of the radar products that we use. So when we're talking about maybe debris detection, some of our radar wind speeds, it can make it a little bit hard to see exactly what's happening in that storm just because of how close the beam is. But what we're still seeing here is very clear sign of tornado potential with that leg that just continues to extend south of the storm. So into Arlington and eventually Bennington, we're going to be tracking a tornado threat just based off of the look of this storm, as well as the potential for some more of that rotation to kick up. This storm has a history of producing at the very least a land spout, so that'll be a continued concern out there as we move through the evening, and this really starts to develop a bit more as it moves out to the east. Let's take a live look here. We have our city cam, and you can see the dust storm here as it approaches the metro. So this is the view out to the west. Pretty ominous picture as these storms approach, and you just want to get in your basement, wait for this to move through your area if you are within that tornado warning. Let's go ahead and come back to our radar picture here, take a wider view, just get a little recap of what's going on, because we have a lot going on out there tonight. Of course, our biggest concern is with the storm on the northern edge of the metro, but I do also want to point out this hail risk that'll eventually be moving into Sarpy County. I want to talk about that because hail also huge concern with these storms tonight, and any of these storms do have that potential to spin. So this one also eventually could become a tornado concern. Threat is considerable though for hail. Observed 2-inch hail. This is for Cass, Lancaster, Sarpy, and Saunders County, and this is going to run until 7:15 tonight as that continues to move out to the east. Bo, what's the speed on this thunderstorm? Can you go into chat and check that for me?
Yeah, hold on one second. It's thinking For at least, I'm not seeing speed right now. Hold on.
It should be in that warning text.
Okay, hold on. I'm just seeing, I'm getting a lot of reports coming in as of right now, so give me 1 second. Moving east at 50 miles per hour. There it is.
Okay, so both
50.
of these storms have really sped up. So I'll go ahead and time this out at that 50-mile-per-hour pace. That's going to take us throughout the warning into Valparaiso by 6:40, Ashland 7:07. Are you seeing some new reports, Bo?
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up real quick. The National Weather Service is planning to allow the tornado warning to expire at 6:45, but they will continue on issuing that severe thunderstorm warning for baseball-sized hail and 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Nickerson Fire reporting golf ball-sized hail. Let's see. I saw another one where Fremont got baseball-sized hail. One of our workers here at First Alert 6 actually sent a picture to us. We'll get that up eventually, but it is a large hail size that he got outside. So we'll get that picture eventually, but baseball-sized hail reported in Fremont. And then we got the golf ball-sized hail in Nickerson. And then just a reminder, the tornado warning will be allowed to expire at 6:45 p.m., but the severe thunderstorm warning will continue. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up there about that tornado warning. Still have not seen any reports of funnels or a tornado on the ground as we speak. Just a lot of reports of hail, and they are big. So these hails, the size of the hail could definitely damage your car significantly. You saw the picture earlier, a lot of hail fell. So definitely make sure your vehicles are inside a garage or a building, and also make sure you are away from windows. Emily?
Thanks for that update, Bo. I think we have some new information at the desk. Brian, do you have an update?
Well, I think this is probably some positive news in light of how strong those winds have been. This has gone through Dodge County now for the most part, and the OPPD outage map shows 0.
Well, that is good news. And Fremont, now you are in the clear completely. Just want to throw that out there.
So the way that we've had this last year of storms, tornadoes, blizzards, power always seems to be going out because of the strong winds, and this one, so far, so good for that, at least from that barometer.
Yeah, that is definitely good news. And as the National Weather Service was saying, Bo gave us that update, they are going to allow this tornado warning to expire here. It's 6:38, so within the next 10 minutes at 6:45. But I do still have some big concerns here with that leg that's extending south. So they have a lot of eyes on it. It has not been producing any type of tornado or spin up on the ground. But we are going to still monitor it closely. There's a lot of eyes on it, which is the good news here. So with all these chasers, we'll know if something happens. But Arlington, you need to stay in your basement. There's a huge hail threat in addition to that potential for rotation. And Bennington, I would still get under cover as this storm moves in, even if the tornado warning expires before it gets to you. This does have the potential for some rotation here. There's a huge hail threat, so at the very least, make sure you're inside and in a lower level of your home. This is a really strong storm. Now, we also have some reports coming in that sirens may be sounding in Bennington, and they're wondering if they're supposed to be. So this may be due to the strong wind potential with this thunderstorm. So although they are going to let the tornado warning portion of this storm expire, I want to give you some attention to kind of the broader warning that this is a part of. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning, but not a normal one. This is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. So that's why the sirens may be sounding in your location, even if you're not in a tornado warning. We have the threat for almost 3-inch hail, but the big concern is going to be 80-mile-per-hour winds, which is why I want to stress you just need to be in your basement, be inside at the very least in the lower level of your home if you're not going to get into the basement because of that really strong wind threat, and that can be destructive on its own. I do hear we have a picture, so let's go ahead and take that. This is from near Hooper, and it looks like that's about 1-inch hailstone, a little over an inch. So pretty big hail with these storms that have been tracking through. And of course, we have a destructive tag on this storm that's going to be moving through the northern edge of the metro. Now, Brian, I don't know if this is going to be the case now that we've kind of taken over the show with weather. But I know there was some question with if we're going to have Phil out live. I think that he should not be out if he.
He's no longer out there, Emily. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Safety precaution. No, great question. Thank you.
Yeah, we had the same thoughts half hour ago.
Yeah, just wanted to check in on that. We do have incredibly strong winds moving through, and that's going to include the northern edge of Douglas County. So there's a destructive tag on this storm. If you're hearing the sirens, it's more than likely due to the wind threat. They're letting that tornado warning more than likely expire. But someone did say they can confirm that they did not activate the sirens in Bennington or north of Bennington to county line. So there's no confirmed report of a siren sounding in that area, but if they do, it's going to be because of that wind threat. We have more hail pictures to show you. This is another one coming in. I can't see the tag on that. This is near Fremont, and you can see another very large hailstone. Now, Bo, why don't you go ahead and get us a look at what's going on in chat while we take a look at that radar picture. I'm going to move that banner down to this, the bottom half of the screen.
Okay. Let's see. We got like you said, Bennington sirens did not go off just because of the tornado warning allowing to expire in the next few minutes. The tornado warning will expire at 6:45 p.m. Bennington is in a destructive severe warning where this thunderstorm could produce 80-mile-per-hour winds and baseball-sized hail. This storm has been known to produce baseball-sized hail. I saw a picture earlier that it did produce baseball-sized hail near Fremont, and so this thunderstorm can produce a very destructive hail. So make sure your vehicles are indoors. Make sure you are away from windows and that you are inside, because this is a very destructive tornado. I've been looking at the live feed thanks to our storm chaser Brandon, and I'm still not seeing any rotation. Now it's just more, the dust has settled down a lot compared to what we saw earlier. There's still a little bit of dust in front of the thunderstorm, but it's not as strong as it was earlier. So the dust has really settled down. I'm still not seeing any rotation within the thunderstorm just north of the metro. It's the thunderstorm east of Fremont and just southwest of Blair. That's the storm he's chasing. He's still not seeing any rotation, and the dust has settled down significantly. So in the next 2 minutes, that tornado warning will expire. Let me check chat one more time before. Toss it back to you, Emily, real quick.
Yeah, I want to touch on that storm to the south because this one is on its way into Sarpy County. We've been talking a lot about that tornado warned storm. Of course, this one is also going to be a concern. This is north of Lincoln, and it's getting ready to cross over I-80. So if you have anyone that may be traveling in that area tonight, that's a really popular route, let them know to wait it out before this storm moves through. That's going to cross over the interstate with almost 2¼ size hail, and that has the potential at 50 miles per hour, and it's eventually going to make its way into Sarpy County. So let's go ahead and take that radar picture, kind of zoom out a little bit and get you a better idea of when that could be moving into your area. We'll pull this out at about 50 miles per hour. It's going to be in the Greenwood area by 7 p.m., Ashland by 7:05, into Gretna by about 7:15, Springfield 7:20, and Papillion, that's going to be 7:27. So big concern there for hail. Latest update would be that they have now at 6:45 let that tornado warning expire. However, with that northern storm, once again, this is a destructive severe thunderstorm. You may still hear the sirens go off for your location because of the 80-mile-per-hour wind threat, as well as the concern for some really large hail. And the hail potential with this warning is about 2 3/4 inches, so almost 3-inch hail with this. And as we take a look at the hail, it does seem to have, at least on the radar image, come down a little bit, but only to 1.5 inches. That's still really large hail, and it has the potential to strengthen again. This is a picture of a hailstone from Tyler. This was taken out near Fremont, and you can see just how big that hailstone is. We were seeing a ton of pictures just like that coming in. We're going to be watching both of these storms very closely this evening. They both have very destructive potential, the hail potential as well. And it looks like they're going to be passing through portions of the metro, both of these impacting parts of the metro. That northern one, north edge of Douglas County, and that southern one perhaps through Sarpy County, at the very least the southern half of Sarpy County. This is one of our city cameras taking a look out toward these storms. Are we looking north with that? Northeast. Northwest, and that's that storm that we're tracking with the destructive tag on it. You could see some of those lightning strikes. You can see the wind, likely some of what we're seeing toward the bottom half, in addition to being rain. That's also probably some dust that's being kicked up with that storm. Bo, are we seeing anything on that chaser video?
Not much on the chaser video. It looks relatively similar to what we're seeing on the live cam here in downtown downtown Omaha. Not seeing a whole lot of activity. Well, not seeing a whole lot of things on the live camera from Brandon, our storm chaser. Just a little bit of dust. Not seeing any rotation. Nothing to be too concerned about. Just got another report of softball-sized hail northwest of Branchville Lake, roughly about 15 minutes ago. So large destructive hail being reported with these thunderstorms. So again, softball sized hail northwest of Oak Lake, roughly about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, and we're keeping a close eye on both of these storms. At the moment, the hail threat appears to be greatest with that southern storm. I was mentioning the potential impact soon to portions of I-80, and that's going to be right in between Lincoln and portions of southwestern Sarpy County. So between Lincoln and Ashland, right through Waverly, that's where we're going to see that hail core pass through. So anyone in that area, delay your travel along I-80. If you know anyone that's going to be on the road, typically travels that route at this time, give them a call, give them a heads up that this is about to be passing through their area. And it's going to be coming close to the interstate here, likely within the next few minutes. This is a fast moving storm. It's moving at 50 miles per hour. We have the wind threat going with it. Hail threat is the biggest concern with this southern storm. And it is going to be eventually making its way into portions of Sarpy County here, likely within the next hour. So we're going to watch and see how it holds together. I would expect more than likely to see some impacts to the southern half of Sarpy County at the very least. If it continues with a bit of a northerly pull, we could see that become a bit more central out across all of Sarpy County. A little too soon to say exactly the track that it's going to take. But of course, a big concern really on both the north and south side of the metro for these storms. Blair, Missouri Valley, you're currently under a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, 80-mile-per-hour winds possible, as well as very large hail, almost up to 3-inch hail with these storms. So I would seek shelter at the very least due to that wind threat. That can be just as dangerous to be outdoors in as a tornado sometimes. And with 80-mile-per-hour winds, that's definitely a huge concern. Missouri Valley, that threat is going to be coming to you pretty soon as well. Sounds like we have some more hail pictures. Let's take a look at those.
Boy, those are enormous there.
Yeah, they look pretty incredible. I mean, just the shot alone in someone's hand, right? I mean, you can kind of guess how big someone's hand is just from the size of that hail right there, Brian.
So those are that's Fremont. It's past, the storm is past there now.
Right.
What I haven't seen a lot of pictures of is damage to maybe cars. Maybe it wasn't like so widespread, Emily, that it wasn't damaging cars outside or skylights or rooftops. Or
yeah, I mean, that would be the silver lining in this, right, for sure. So you can see, if you take a closer look at this photo, kind of look beyond the hand, beyond the two obvious pieces of hail there. I mean, you can see the hail kind of scattered in the grass too. So,
and we've been keeping an eye on the OPPD outage map. It's really been encouraging.
Sure. Yeah.
There's 2 customers now in Dodge County without power. It was 0, half hour ago, but based on how strong those winds have been, Emily, I would have thought that number would have been higher.
Yeah, thankfully we haven't seen any widespread reports of these very strong winds. It's been pretty isolated reports of gusts between about 60 to almost 70 miles per hour. So those reports have been quite frequent. I was just taking a look at the wind speeds estimated on radar, and they're right around 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's not always incredibly accurate, but it does give us a picture that there is at least some pretty strong wind gusts within that storm. Usually as these pass through Blair, we get another update. We have that airport out there, so more than likely within the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we'll probably get another update on the wind speeds with this storm as it passes through Blair. At the moment, Blair looking at a high wind, high hail threat. The hail with this storm, it's kind of been up and down. It's coming up slightly compared to where it was at the last scan. It's a little over 1.5 inches now, but it's certainly down from the estimates that were closer to about 3 inches when this storm was around Fremont. So perhaps we're not seeing those same large hailstones near Blair at this point, but it's going to be something that we watch really closely here as it continues to move out to the east. Again, this does have the potential to impact portions of the Omaha metro within Douglas County. So Bennington, you're right on the edge of where we're looking at that hail concern. So around Bennington, radar is estimating about 1 inch hail possible for you. So you're right on the southern edge of that hail core, not right in the middle of it, which is good news for you. But you do have the strong winds. You do have that 1 inch hail threat, and that 1 inch hail threat's really going to graze the northern edge of Douglas County, along with that concern for some very strong winds. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on how this all holds together. Again, we still have that kind of suspicious looking leg at the bottom of that storm. That's where we were seeing some concern earlier for tornado potential. It hasn't really developed anything, which is why they allowed that warning to expire. There's a lot of chasers on this storm, so we'll get immediate reports if anything like that starts to form. But at the moment, our developing concern, that's really this storm down to the south where it's about to move into Sarpy County. So this is kind of your heads up, especially as we get into southwestern Sarpy County, really the whole western half of Sarpy County. So the Gretna area, and then outside of Sarpy County, but Louisville, you're also going to be dealing with that threat for some large hail and some strong winds as this storm continues to approach. Do we have anything new coming into chat, Bo?
Nothing really. The only thing I've seen now is reported golf ball size hail near in Nickerson in Dodge County. That was reported at about 25-30 minutes ago. But otherwise, I'm not seeing anything else. It's been relatively quiet in the chat room. I'm looking at the live feed thanks to our storm chaser Brandon. Still not seeing anything too impressive. There's still a little bit of dust in the ahead of this storm, and I'm seeing a lot of lightning as well. But I'm not seeing any funnels. I'm not seeing any rotation. Just some dust, and of course we are seeing a lot of reports of hail. And then let's see. I'm going to see if I have anything else.
I do have a new hail report that someone just texted me out of Bennington, and although the radar is not picking up on it, it's the size of an adult's palm. Huge hailstone, really flat one. So there is some really large hail coming in out of the Bennington area. So even though the radar is not picking up on it, sometimes those estimates can be a little bit off. There's an incredibly large hail threat, even with the southern edge of this storm as it moves through Bennington. So again, you have the destructive tag on this. You should be seeking shelter until this passes through your area. Hail is a huge concern, and so is the wind. So this is huge hail with this thunderstorm. The radar is really just not doing a great job of estimating it. So around Fort Calhoun, you're likely dealing with that as well. You're going to be looking at a very large hail and very strong wind risk with this thunderstorm as this continues to move out to the east. And yeah, let's go ahead and take some of those hail pictures there. This is from near Fremont as well, and you can see some very large hailstones there. It looks like some of them are approximately 2 inches in size, and we're going to be seeing more of a concern for stuff like this moving through Blair, Missouri Valley. We've been seeing those reports into Bennington, and now some of that concern shifting onto I-80 near Waverly, where they're starting to see some reports of pea-size hail, and that's just kind of like the precursor to what's coming with the rest of that storm as more large hail moves in.
There's the damage.
Yeah. Take a look at that. My goodness.
There's probably a lot of that now that we've been seeing so many softball, baseball, even golf ball. As you look at that, that looks sizable. Hit that.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the gentleman in the driver's seat there. Yeah. Not a good time to be in your car if you can avoid it, right, Emily?
Yeah, this is a bad time to be on the roads. This is why I was concerned with anyone who may be traveling out along I-80. I'm getting a lot of pictures texted to me, and another one that's, I believe, from the Fremont area. It's a house just totally ripped apart by hail. Shingles are a total mess. We have windows that are broken on the house, and just piles of hail in the area. And I have another report coming in, a friend's house of someone who's been in the area near North Bend. They have a house that looks just like that, completely destroyed by hail.
Gosh, your heart really... Yeah, I was just going to say, your heart really goes out to these people. I mean, clearly we're almost remembering the 1-year anniversary, and so many of us have been through so many different natural disasters in our area. So, thankfully, I haven't heard any reports on my end anyway of any injuries. So that is at least something to be thankful for at this point in the game.
Emily, the track of this Sarpy County storm looks like some people might get hit by hail twice. Is it following the path of, is it going to cross over here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of pull the radar down to the south. We're looking at, again, that hail core starting to push onto I-80 and continue east. So right now it's right over Waverly. And as we kind of take a look at that radar picture, it's likely delayed a little bit. Sometimes our hail image is about 1 scan behind the radar. So at this point, likely just lifting north of Waverly, approaching Ashland as that storm continues to move through. So yeah, more than likely, we're going to see a lot of people in Sarpy County get hit with really large hail with this storm. So it's going to be something that we see a huge concern for as this continues east. Bo, you have another update?
Yes, we actually got lowering right now of a potential. We have a tornado warning issued for Pottawatomie County, parts of Douglas County, and Washington. If we take the live feed right now, you see a tornado is starting to reach towards the ground as we speak. This is thanks to Brandon Kopek. He's tracking this thunderstorm that is lowering as we speak. Potential funnel coming down. Tornado warning issued for Pottawatomie, Douglas, and Washington County as of right now. So if you are in Crescent, if you are in Underwood, you need to be taking shelter immediately.
And I want to point out Irvington as well. I'm looking at it on the radar picture. Let's keep on this live video, but I can see where that leg has been extending south. That's what we've been watching this whole time. This is where the warning is kind of spurring from. That leg is very close to Irvington as well. So you need to be seeking shelter anywhere within that warned area. As you were just continuing to kind of lift off those cities, that's the one that I see closest to that storm on radar.
Yeah, tornado now looks like it has touched the ground. You could definitely notice that there. That little tornado looks like it's touching the ground as we speak. Yep, there you go. Tornado on the ground right now near Pottawatomie County, Douglas County, and Washington County as well. So you look at that tornado on the ground as we speak. So Irvington, Crescent, take shelter immediately. It looks like we have city cam as well.
Yeah, we have another view of it. Are we taking that view? Here it is on the Epley City Cam. That view is not as good. Let's go back to our chaser video. It's kind of obscured by that tree there. But you can see where it is most definitely making contact with the ground. It's on the ground picking up dust, and our radar picture still showing very clear signs of that, leg extending south, and that's what we've been watching so closely. So for that warned area, if you haven't already, get into shelter now as this storm continues to move through. Really quick tornado development on this, and that's going to continue on its track out to the east. This is moving east at 45 miles per hour, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and kind of do a storm track on this so we can time out when it might impact your area. So we're going to pull this out to the east. Again, 45 miles per hour. I'm going to have to clear that and zoom out just a little bit more to get a long enough track on this storm. So pulling that out at about 45 miles per hour. That's going to be moving through North Omaha really right now. It's going to be moving into Crescent at 7:15, Underwood 7:25, Neola 7:31, and if it holds together all the way into Minden by 7:37 p.m. So at this point, there is a confirmed tornado on the ground, and this is going to be a big concern for really the northern half of the metro, and then as we get into western Iowa as well. So really close to Irvington, this is going to be a big concern. You can see still the picture here, just kind of panned off to the side, but there was that tornado on the ground. It looks like they're trying to get into a better position. This is one that we're going to watch really closely. This was...
Sirens are, it's been confirmed, sirens are going off right now, right outside here in downtown Omaha. So
yeah, make sure you are under cover.
I just got confirmed with that, but yes. Yeah, good looking tornado moving through Potawatomi, Douglas, east of Bennington right now. So if you're in Irving and Crescent, take shelter immediately. This tornado is still on the ground and it's moving eastward. It looks like, yep, it's still going. There was a moment where it was starting to go up a little bit, but now it's still on the ground as we speak. So I've just been told the sirens have gone off here in downtown Omaha. So please take shelter immediately.
And for us at the station, right now we are not in the path of that. We're going to keep a close eye on it, but we should be fine to continue here in the studio as the storm continues out to the east. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. If that changes, of course, we'll immediately take action. But at this point, it looks like the tornado threat will stay north of our studio. Right now, we have a very clear picture of the leg of that storm right along 680. We have another strong portion of that storm north of that out along 72nd Street. So there's quite a bit of rotation here with this. Images from the chaser feed, if we can go back to that, if it's showing anything significant, I think we should stay on that live picture. It looks as though the clear portion of the funnel has lifted slightly, but I still see something being picked up on the ground. So that's still likely some circulation making its way to the ground. It's likely kind of going up and down here at the moment. It looks like it may be lifting a little bit, Bo. Do you kind of see what I'm talking about there?
Oh, they're saying you're out, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's safe for us to go outside.
Does look like it's lifting slightly, but I still do see a bit of circulation closer to the ground. So it may be something that kind of pops up and down here as we go through the cycle of this storm. That's continuing on its track out to the east. Let's go ahead and take a zoomed out picture here and kind of recenter it on the storm that we're tracking now on radar. As we pick up our radar wind speeds here, the circulation does appear to be still pretty defined with this, and we are keeping a close eye on really that radar image as well as our spotter reports. We're keeping an eye on that feed as well. Debris signature, looks like there may be a little something here off to the north near, it looks like 72nd Street, where it possibly joins up to, let's see, County Road P43. So we're going to keep an eye on that section of the storm where you can kind of see that bright spot here. So that may be a little something, maybe a little dust showing up there in the radar picture. And that would likely be where a tornado would form within that leg that's kind of been sticking out to the south. So perhaps more of that rotation threat with this portion of the storm here, although right here near 680 looks a little suspicious as well. So really anywhere within this warned portion of the storm, you need to be in your basement and seeking shelter. Let's go back to that live chaser image. It looks like the tornado maybe trying to come back down. It's been kind of lifting up and going back down periodically. Let's keep an eye on that. You can see that funnel trying to kind of lower to the ground. This is something we're going to keep a close eye on here. Very clear picture with kind of a wide open area.
Yeah, it's in the past minute or so, I've been noticing that it's been lifting up and then lifting back down and then lifting back up. So it looks like the tornado, yep, it's starting to try to come back.
Let's go back to the feed until we call for radar.
We're going to be losing daylight here pretty soon, too.
Yeah. Thankfully, it looks like that'll pass through the metro by the time we do lose daylight, so we'll be able to see it the entire time. But again, that'll be a concern heading into western Iowa.
Sirens went off in Elkhorn. Would that be from the Sarpy storm?
If sirens are going off in Elkhorn, they are going off now, or they did a while ago?
I just got a text.
I don't know why they would be going off in Elkhorn now. There's no warning issued at the moment. All right, and then let's take a look at that chaser video there. It looks like that tornado trying to reform and touch back down. So again, this is just off to the north of the metro here. We're keeping a close eye on that chaser video as we continue to watch that tornado kind of cycle a little bit there. Zooming in on it on radar and kind of keeping an eye on the rotation. Let's watch the video the whole time. I'll talk about what I'm seeing on radar. We're watching for some of those wind signatures. I do see one. It's south of Fort Calhoun. So this is kind of right along the Douglas County line, the northern Douglas County line, where we're watching this spin and where we're watching that potential for rotation. So somewhat of a rural area, but there are a lot of houses just peppered into that. So you really want to make sure you're in your basement. It's right along Highway 75 on that county line that we're watching the most clear rotation. The debris signature, it's still showing a little something right along the highway. So that's something we're going to have to keep a close eye on here. Of course, we can see that the tornado has been lifting up and down, likely just picking up some dust at this point. But if we go back to the Weather Center briefly, we're going to go back to that chaser video here in a minute. I want to show you what I'm talking about here when I talk about that debris signature. Here in the Weather Center, keeping a close eye on that bright spot there, right along Highway 75. So that's likely where we're picking up on that tornado. And you can see some of that rotation right here showing up on our radar wind speeds as well. So that's within kind of that leg of the storm that we were talking about that's been extending down to the south. We still see a good portion of that extending south through the northern edge of the metro. So out along 680, there's the potential there for something to also develop. The strongest rotation, though, is just a little bit north of the southern point of that leg. So we're going to keep a close eye on that as we just continue to watch this storm. Keep an eye on that entire leg. It does stretch into the northern edge of the metro, and you really want to wait this one out. Stay in your basement until this passes through. Bo, do we have any new reports? Let's go back to that chaser video and talk about what we're seeing in chat.
So right now in chat, of course, as you the tornado has lifted, but of course it could touch down again. I'm seeing baseball-sized hail now reported at 192nd Street and Davie Road near Greenwood. We got hail 1 mile north of Blair Airport. It's about 2 inches size hail north of Blair Airport. I just got an email that people at the Epley Airfield, I think, are taking shelter right now at the airport. It looks like, yeah, they are taking shelter there. 238th and Church Road, nickel size hail. Spotter being trained spotter reported that. Live feed, looking at it again, there's still a funnel. It's a thin one, but there's a still funnel forming right now in the tornado warning. You can see that right there on the live feed. Thanks to Brandon Kopik. A little funnel forming right now, so we still have a tornado warning in effect. But so far, I'm not seeing any other reports, just some hail and people taking shelter at the Eppley airfield as of right now. So it looks like that tornado is trying to touch down. So we still have that tornado warning until 7:30.
Yeah, let's go back to the radar picture. We're going to keep a close eye on this tornado potential, but I want to talk about that southern storm. This has strengthened, as I mentioned, would be a possibility. And the southern portion of Sarpy County is now in a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. And as we kind of take a look at the stats on this, pick up that query box, almost 3-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So the biggest concern with this is going to be the large hail threat on this storm. And I want to watch also kind of the southern edge of this as well, where we're seeing no super clear signs of rotation at the moment. There's a little bit of concern in my mind where we start to see again that little leg try and form there just out to the east of Waverly. There's not a tornado warning on this. This is something we're going to have to watch, though, because these storms have been spinning. So the main concern at this point, it's going to be for the hail. But I do want to point out with any of these storms, there's going to be the potential for a little bit of spin on this. So with this storm, hail, the core right now is moving right over the interstate, continuing out to the east. That storm, if I recall, is moving at about 50 miles per hour. Not sure if the speed on that has changed at all.
Hold on 1 second. I can check for it. Last time I saw, I thought I saw 40 miles per hour.
40? Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to pull it out from the hail core at about.
Okay. Yeah.
40?
50 now. It's been back up to 50.
Back up to 50.
Back up to 50.
So we'll pull that out at 50 miles per hour. And from that hail core, Murdoch at 722, into Louisville at 729, Cedar Creek 735, Plattsmouth 746, and Bartlett by 752. And Plattsmouth is right on the edge of that warning. Bartlett is just outside. More than likely, though, this is going to hold together, and we do have to keep an eye out for that potential for a little bit of rotation here. So I want to watch that leg at the base of that storm, crossing right over I-80 at the moment, for maybe the chance for that to spin up a little bit. That's going to be a concern.
Could you go to the one that's north of us?
Yes.
So they're sheltering at the airport right now, people. The Clayton Collier sports director is out there, and they could see the tornado from the airport, so they've cleared the gates and they have passengers at Eppley in a storm shelter right now.
Good. That's a very good move on their part. That is coming pretty close to the airport, the southern edge of that storm. It does still look like the rotation with it is pulling a little bit north. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. It's always better safe than sorry in these types of situations. So that is the right move on the part of the airport. But around Crescent, you need to be seeking shelter. This storm, it's right near you. It's just right out to your west. It's continuing to move out to the east. So it's going to be at your doorstep here any second now. And that's getting ready to cross over, it looks like I-29 here. We have our producer, Rob, talking to me. What were you saying, Rob? All right. Are we able to pull that up now? All right. We're about to pull up the tornado video. And this is out at the airport. So this is what everyone was seeing at Eppley and hearing at Eppley.
Good reason that they went to shelter. Very ominous.
Yeah.
I mean, the tornado that came through here will be a year ago Saturday, Emily, and that one took out hangars out at the private side, took out our city cam.
Right, we had a live image of the city cam when it actually went off air, so this is no joke.
Yeah, a very strong storm, history of producing rotation, history of producing these tornado spin-ups. So that's why it's such a concern for us. Right now, it looks like that's passing right over I-29, continuing out to the east. It's going to be right into Crescent here within the next few minutes. And we also, on top of that risk for a tornado, which we've been monitoring, it's been kind of cycling up and down, we also have a really large hail threat. And with this, at the moment, the radar, I think it's underestimating. It's estimating it at under 1.5 inches. I think it's a little bit larger than that based off of the reports that we've been getting in. It sounds like we have a couple of pictures to go over, so let's pull those up. Baseball size hail. This is out near Fremont. And as we take that wider view.
This one was by Bennington, I believe.
Oh, by Bennington. I see Fremont on the tag.
Oh, okay. I think I sent it in, so that's all. Yeah,
it's big regardless, right?
That's why you're getting so much damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're also watching that storm down to the south. Of course, keeping an eye on that tornado threat north, but also this storm just to the south. That's what I was concerned about. New tornado warning now issued on that. And it looks like it does have that white highlight. So it is a confirmed tornado.
Yes, it is. I was just about to tell you, a confirmed tornado by the Cass County Emergency Management on the ground by 420 exit 5 miles south. It's moving through Cass County as we speak. So again, a confirmed tornado is on the ground.
Yeah, I'm picking up some of our radar wind speeds. You can see some bright spots of circulation as we look at the southern edge of that storm. Very obvious where that tornado threat's going to be. It's going to be within that leg there. I was mentioning that earlier. It's a concern whenever we see those form. That is a sign that that storm is rotating. It's trying to form some kind of circulation. In this case, a confirmed tornado. Bo, can you click on that warning and tell me the speed? Is it still moving at about 50 miles per hour?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. 50 miles per hour, moving east at 50 miles per hour.
Okay, so this is going to extend through portions of Cass County. So it's going to stay down to the south of Sarpy County, the tornado warned portion of the storm. Sarpy County still dealing with a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, but we're going to be looking at the potential for that tornado to stay down to the south. So as we kind of pull that out to the east, going at 50 miles per hour, this is the estimated time frame for when it could move to your area. So Murdoch here, 726, Weeping Water 735, into Murray at 748, Plattsmouth 751, Bartlett 756, and Glenwood by 8 p.m. Again, that's a confirmed tornado that we're tracking as it moves through the area. And let's go ahead and pick up on that tornado warning, talk about what the tags are on that. 8 p.m. is going to be expiration time again for Cass County. This was an observed tornado. Also the potential for a little hail with this. That's obviously the secondary concern. Biggest concern, that's going to be with that tornado reported to be on the ground. Again, as this continues to move out to the east and at a pretty good pace. So you really don't get a lot of heads up on this if you're very close to this leg of the storm. So Murdoch, you need to be in cover now. Looks like Wabash also just south of Murdoch, right in the path of this storm. Anything new you're seeing on chat, Bo?
I'm not seeing anything new. I do see a picture of course I can't show it up on air right now, but I do see a picture of the tornado right now. And it's similar to what we saw earlier. It's a thin little tornado that has formed, but again, I'm only seeing it in chat, so I can't bring it on air as we speak. But yes, there is still a tornado on the ground, and it's a little skinny tornado moving through. But besides that, I have not seen anything else. This is the picture is taken off of Blair High Road exit on I-80.
Let's go ahead and take our radar full. Yeah, can you continue to go over those facts there, Bo?
Yeah, so what I'm seeing from the picture is that the tornado just recently, about a minute ago, was near right off of Blair High Road exit on I-80 and it's around the Irvington area or so. Or actually, well, I'm sorry.
We're talking about, that's the northern
that was the old
storm.
picture. I'm sorry, that was the old picture. I just realized I was looking at the wrong thing. But yes, a tornado is still reported on the ground as we speak in Cass County. I don't have a picture of it as we speak, but it is moving east at about 50 miles per hour. So far, our Brandon Kopek is not at that storm right now, so we don't have a live footage of the tornado, but reports are still coming in that a tornado is on the ground as we speak in Cass County. So, of course, we'll continue on monitoring this situation.
And any of our producers in the back, if you can go through maybe our NDOT cameras and see if we can get a picture of what's going on down to the south. All right, they're going to start looking, see if we can get any image on what's going on in Cass County. Again, that's our newest tornado warning. That's going to run until 8 o'clock tonight. This is going to likely stay south of Sarpy County, but this is moving fast out to the east at 50 miles per hour. Very strong thunderstorm, hail threat, and a wind threat. This is already a storm that was under a considerable damage tag for the severe thunderstorm warning because of large hail. Almost 3-inch hail potential, and now we add in that rotation, and it's going to be even more of a concern. Picking up the debris detection here, not showing much. It's looking kind of messy. Again, we are very close to the radar site, so that can kind of obscure things, but still picking up on some clear signs of rotation here as we zoom in on this storm.
Okay. All right, I'm checking the NDOT cameras, not seeing anything right now. Can't get a good view of the tornado. So, but again, I'm still seeing reports that a tornado is still on the ground in Cass County, moving to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So please take shelter immediately if you are in this tornado warning. Weeping Water, Manly, Murdoch, Elmwood, Alvo. If you're in, you guys are in this tornado warning, so please take shelter immediately. I don't have a whole lot of options in terms of NDOT cameras to get a view of this thunderstorm, but I'm going through the options right now, and I'm not seeing the tornado. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a camera just north of Weeping Water. See if I can see anything.
And let's talk about the hail size while you're kind of searching for a good view of that. With this hail core, it's south of Ashland, almost 2.5-inch hail estimated on radar. That has a higher impact of, or higher potential of impacting portions of southern Sarpy County, which are included in the warning. So although Sarpy County may not be impacted by the tornado warning portion of the storm, hail and wind will still be a big concern. As we take a look at that radar picture, kind of zoom out a little bit, this storm has a pretty large scope. We also have quite a bit of lightning showing up here and there within that storm. Just got a lightning strike showing up, a new one with the core of that, where we're picking up all that hail south of Ashland. That's approaching South Bend, so pretty dangerous situation in terms of lightning as well. As we take that wider view, these are really the two storms on the map. This is what we were talking about today, really isolated storm threats. So a lot of people are not seeing a thunderstorm at all, but these are very strong. Jacqueline, you have a report?
I do.
Can we take Jacqueline's mic?
Yes, Emily, thank you. I was just texting with Clayton Collier, our sports director, and he did just send a photo from Epley Airfield, and he said everyone is back up. Things are looking very clear over there now, so that is good news, Emily, to be able to report tonight.
Good. Glad to hear that. There's a lot of people, of course, there that were very concerned. Of course, they did the best course of action by seeking shelter. That's exactly what you need to do in these types of situations. We have these two very strong storms on the map. The one off to the north that's been impacting portions of the metro. This is now out of the Omaha metro. It's moving into western Iowa. Minden, you're also going to be in the path of this storm. So currently, they've extended that tornado warning just now, and it now includes Minden. So of course, we're coming up now on that anniversary from the end of April of last year, and once again seeing a tornado threat rolling right through Minden. So this has been a confirmed tornado. It looks like they've extended that warning without the confirmation tag, likely because this has been kind of cycling up and down. We haven't seen a confirmed tornado on it here for a little while. It still has very clear rotation, however, and that leg here, this is what we don't like to see. This is exactly what we're talking about when we say it looks like it could produce a tornado. It's moving out to the east of Crescent now. So Crescent, stay in your shelter wait it out for another 15 minutes or so. This is moving pretty fast. Underwood, you're directly in the path. Minden, you are going to be up next for that tornado threat. And as we kind of zoom out and follow the track of that storm into Oakland, we're going to be dealing with that tornado risk. And on the far edge of that warning, also into Hancock, we're going to be dealing with the risk for eventually a tornado into the area. Bo, do we have an update on the speed on that one?
Yes, hold on one second. The speed still looking like 35 miles per hour for, okay, that tornado, that cell right there, 35 miles per hour moving to the east. So the cell you're seeing on, the thunderstorm you're seeing on your screen is moving east at 35 miles per hour, capable of producing a tornado. I did get a picture, I mean, I can't show it on air right now, but I did get the actual picture of the tornado down in Minden, and it looks like it has lifted. As of right now, I'm not seeing anything about a tornado touchdown as of now, but it looks like the tornado has lifted, but it's still causing a lot of rotation. So if you're in the Murdoch area, please take shelter immediately. I'm getting more videos coming in right now, and it looks like it's there's some rotation still being coming from that thunderstorm. So something we're keeping an eye on for sure. But yeah, there you go. There's the times, Emily. Yeah, you brought up the times of estimated storm arrival.
Yeah, so the estimated storm arrival into Underwood, that's going to be 7:38. So really shortly here, you need to get into shelter now. Neola, that's going to be 7:45. Minden, 7:52, and into Shelby by 8 o'clock. So this is going to be another risk for tornado. Also, the potential for some hail on this storm. It looks like the hail core isn't as impressive as it once was. It's right over at McClellan, or just out to the west, estimating that at about 1.5 inches, but the radar's been underestimating. So I would say 2-inch hail potentially with that storm as it moves out across I-80. That's going to be tracking through Underwood here shortly. You're probably already seeing some small hail, if not some larger hail. This hail core image can be slightly delayed. And Minden, Hancock, you're going to be right in the path of that hail core as well. And the potential for rotation there, that's a big concern. Right along that leg that we've been watching, that's where we see that risk for, of course, tornado development. Now, I do want to zoom back out here and talk about that storm down to the south. We do have a second tornado warning out there. This one, confirmed tornado as well, and that's going to be traveling out to the east at a bit of a quicker pace. This is a 50-mile-per-hour pace on this thunderstorm. The rotation, it's not as clear as it has been with the storm off to the north, but again, that was a confirmed tornado. And that's going to be something we keep a close eye on as it continues out to the east. Bo, anything new coming into chat?
But hold on one second. 24 I-80, there is report of a funnel cloud for the one north, the other tornado warning in Pottawatomie County. There is reports of a funnel cloud being reported with that cell. Let's see, and a quarter-size hail being reported as well. And this is coming in from the Pottawatomie County EMA, so emergency management. So again, a funnel cloud is being reported with that thunderstorm. It doesn't say specifically where. It just says that there's a funnel cloud being reported. It's near I-80. So around that area, probably western part of Pottawatomie County is where the funnel cloud's being reported. As well, I'm seeing reports of damages and broken windows out west in Dodge County from all the hail being reported, and of course the high winds. These cells are moving to the east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So the Pottawatomie County one, and as well as the one south of Pottawatomie County and near Plattsmouth, that's also moving at about 30 to 35 miles per hour, according to the warning that was issued. So.
Okay, very good. And it sounds like we do have some more images coming in from the area. Video.
So this is south of Blair. The hail coming down. This is actually, yeah, you see some of those really big pieces now and then coming through.
Yeah, you can hear it hitting the roof of the structure too.
This looks a little fortunate compared to some of the pictures that we've gotten in of baseball-sized hail.
Yeah, keeping a close eye on that.
Outages are now starting to pick up again. Sam, what did you say again? And 550 in Washington County of that 750. So that has really picked up. So what we thought might have been fortunate with strong winds, maybe not impacting power as much as they have in the past. This time, in fact, Bo, they are. And these numbers are probably going to keep climbing considering these storms are moving so fast.
They're moving
do we
fast.
still have the 2 tornadoes?
Okay, so I just looked at the chat real quick, and they said that there is a funnel coming down just south of Murdoch. So it's this thunderstorm right here. There is a funnel being reported with this thunderstorm, and both of these thunderstorms are moving eastward at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Earlier it was at 50, so they're starting to slow down a little bit, but they're still going east at a pretty quick pace. So again, a funnel has been reported with this thunderstorm right here. Just give me 1 second. So if we look, you can see that the thunderstorm, if we zoom out a little bit, this thunderstorm right here, this one is being reported a funnel cloud just north of Murdoch. And so nothing's been confirmed yet, but there is a possibility a tornado could be touching down at any moment. So if we zoom in a little bit to this area, I can show you kind of more where the tornado or the funnel cloud is being reported. So where Murdoch is, right about here, that's where we can see the tornado funnel being reported. Right about here, that's where the funnel cloud is being reported according to the chat. Nothing's been confirmed on the ground yet, but we still have that tornado warning in effect, and it's still moving eastward, and it expires at around 8 o'clock or so. So of course, we'll continue on monitoring the situation. Here's a look about the timing of the system. So here you go, right about there. You see that the system will hit mainly in about a couple of minutes or so. 7:50 or so is when this thunderstorm is expected to impact the area. But again, we have 2 tornado warnings in effect until about 8 o'clock tonight. So if I zoom out a little bit, go back home, you can see that we've got a lot of thunderstorms moving through the area. Nothing has been confirmed yet. Look at the live stream. Looks like actually, Jacqueline, you have some updates for me.
Well, I just had just an observance to maybe you could discuss this in some detail for us, Bo. But I mean, we have this potentially tornadic activity, and it seems like Omaha's right in the middle of both of these systems.
Yes, both of these systems, but neither one of these are expected to impact the downtown area. These are all going to the east. We could still see a potential for a thunderstorm to become strong around the metro area. But for now, these 2 tornadic cells are moving to the east away from the metro. So right now, here in the metro, we don't have any warnings and nothing's coming through. But if you're in Potawatomi County, you definitely have tornado warnings issued until 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to continue on tracking. Let me check the chat real quick to see if we got any new reports.
I don't know if we mentioned the hail report out by Underwood. Did we, Bo?
No, we have not.
So ping pong ball size hail being reported at that Underwood exit right along I-80. Baseball size hail being reported in Underwood. So very large hail. Minden, you're very close by. You're likely going to see that same hail threat if you are not already. So picking up that hail core, it's right over Underwood. Again, this is slightly delayed, so it's probably more like right here and approaching Minden. So Underwood, incredibly large hail. We're also under that tornado warning. So this is a storm where even based off that hail concern, you should be in shelter. We had a tornado warning on top of that. You need to be in your basement as a storm tracks through. So pretty active picture really all around the metro. What we have kind of filling in between these 2 storms, we are tracking some rain. There's quite a bit of lightning as well, so it's a stormy picture in the metro now. Picking up our hail. Looks like we may be seeing some small hailstones within the metro, perhaps approaching Boys Town. So just keep in mind with these thunderstorms, even if they're not warned, right along Dodge and looks like 168th Street. So probably just a little bit out to the east of that. Again, remember that delay. we're looking at some small hail kind of peppered in, even with some of these non-severe storms. So very, very active picture here, really surrounding the metro with these very strong storms, where we see a tornado concern, a large hail concern, kind of both north and south of the metro. So very, very active picture.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, let's take a picture of what we're seeing there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, see the cracks there?
Yeah,
A
the
huge
cracks
crack.
in the window.
Now, we also saw some in this same email, thanks for sending that in, Debbie, of just the siding, as you mentioned, just shredded, just shredded. Do we have one of those, Sam, to show this kind of Not yet, okay. But it looks like someone hit the side of the entire house with a shotgun.
Right. It really
And-
does. Brian showed me on his phone, and yeah, it's incredible.
So this is the type of hail that's been sweeping west that we're seeing right now, going through our southern edge in Cass and Sarpy, and then going into western Iowa at the same time. So while the tornado doesn't seem to have been causing much damage yet, it seems that hail is the one that's impacting everyone
Right.
on this path.
And I did just, sorry, just toss it back to me real quick. I just got an email saying that there's reports of damage, or trees are down and possible house damage on 70th and Dutch Hall Road. And so we have people going out there right now to see the damage. And so I'm also hearing 78th and Dutch Hall, they're also doing damage assessment. So I'm hearing trees are down and there could be possible house damage on 70th and Dutch Hall Road. Looking at the live feed, not seeing anything for any funnels or any touchdowns as of right now, but of course we still have 2 tornado warnings still into effect. The storm down in, I think it's Cass County, I think that's, Cass County is still is trying to develop a new tornado as we speak, according to the National Weather Service. It's not on the ground, but there is reports of a new tornado trying to develop just west of McClellan. So if you're in McClellan, please take shelter immediately.
Yeah, we're going to be watching these storms closely here as we move through the evening. Let's focus in on McClellan. That's obviously where we have that latest update. And again, all the issues with the tornadoes have been with these little leg segments of the storms. We've been watching these so closely. Sometimes they have a tornado, sometimes they don't. And that's kind of been the case today, where we watch them. There's the tornado potential. This is where it would form if we have one on the storm. And now it's trying to spin one up. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. And again, near McClellan, Underwood, you're just north of there. So make sure you are in your basement. If you have a tornado warning, just get under cover and wait for the storm to pass. You may get lucky and get away without one, but these storms have had history of creating tornadoes, kind of cycling back and forth as they lift up and then drop back down. So you really just want to play it safe with these. Get under cover if you have a tornado warning. And I would really recommend with any of the storms that we see today, if there's any type of warning on it, get into the lower level of your home. There's some huge hail. We were looking at those pictures coming in from the Fremont area of the damage done to those homes and the windows that are broken. This is why we say stay away from windows, because even without a tornado, you combine that wind and hail threat that blows that hail right through your window. And it's a very dangerous situation, even if you don't have a tornado warning in your area. So we have 2 of them. Yeah, let's go ahead and take these pictures here. This is damage done to a home in Fremont. The siding is just completely destroyed there. Very large hail. That's the combination of hail and wind I was talking about.
I can't imagine what that sounded like inside the house.
Right, it's almost like a tin can, really.
So we did a quick double check of the outages too. So you were talking, Bo, about 70th and Dutch Hall Road, possible trees down,
Yes.
houses damaged. That's just over into Washington County, I believe. So there's almost 600 customers without power in Washington County.
Brian, I don't mean to cut in real quick. I'm so sorry. But in Cass County, confirmed tornado on the ground, 358th and Highway 1. There is a tornado on the ground as we speak. It's in Cass County, so we hold on one second. 358th and Highway 1. There is a tornado on the ground, so take shelter immediately. This is in Cass County, so please take shelter immediately. Yep, I just got a picture and it looks like there is a tornado on the ground, so please take shelter. This is near west of Murdoch. I just got it. West of Murdoch, tornado, confirmed tornado on the ground. So, okay, I guess.
Yeah, we're looking at Highway 1 here, and you can kind of see the corridor that we're watching for this. And yeah, we can see that leg kind of sticking out here, which is probably what we're talking about here for that tornado potential out near Murdoch.
Yeah, I think, okay, so the picture that I'm seeing right now was taken just west of Murdoch, and it was coming down as he took that photos, but now it is on the ground. It was coming down when he took, when I'm looking at this photo, it's coming down, now it's confirmed on the ground. It's in
that's
Murdoch.
Probably a bit of a delayed report from when it was just west of Murdoch. It's now appears to be out to the east. So that's continuing to move out to the east here. Looks like that would likely be the section of the storm that's producing that kind of a second leg here. There's that first one we were watching. Here's a second area of rotation that's kind of sprouted up. As we take the debris signature, I'm not seeing anything super clear at the moment, but we are picking up on pretty clear sign of rotation, I would say, really close to Manly. So you need to be in shelter now. This is right along Highway 1 and Highway 50. So that's where we're seeing that segment of rotation. It's very close as well to that leg that we were tracking here on the storm. So a couple of spots of rotation here. We're going to be watching both of them. Let's take that radar picture full as we continue to track this thunderstorm here. Bo, what else are you seeing out there?
So I just got a report of trailers tossed at a storage facility in Nashville, Nebraska, which I'm trying to find. Oh, okay, it's just to the north of us. So this was this thunderstorm that's hitting Pottawatomie County as of right now. That's the same thunderstorm that apparently has caused trailers tossed at a storage facility earlier, not too long ago. So yes, we already have reports of damage in Nashville, Nebraska, just north of the metro. Still seeing reports of a tornado on the ground south of Highway 1 and Highway 50 in Cass County. I'm looking at the live footage. Thanks to Brandon Kopek. I'm not seeing anything right now, so we don't have anything to show you in terms of that tornado, but we still have that tornado on the ground in Cass County, moving to the east at about, I think, 30 to 35 miles per hour. Yeah, 30.
You have that updated report coming in where the tornado's on the ground south of Highway 1 and Highway 50. So that's the area I was pointing out as far as the rotation there. And we're going to be watching that sector really closely. We have these two legs kind of forming on that storm, that bright spot of rotation that I was picking up near Manly. Right now, the debris signature, nothing showing up. But still picking up on some pretty clear signs of rotation in this area here. So this is what we're watching as far as that imminent tornado threat. So around Manly, Weeping Water, you need to be in your safe place now as this storm passes through. And Bo, what's the updated speed on this? Is it still moving at about 50 miles per hour?
Last time I saw it was 30 miles per hour.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 30 miles per hour near, yeah, that cell right there. 15 miles south of Gretna, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So
Manly, the storm is right over your area. It's going to be moving into Murray, 810, Plattsmouth, right around 811, 815, depending on the part of town, and Bartlett, that's going to be 824. So that's just outside of that warned area, but it certainly could hold together. These have been holding together really well. Around the metro, if you're watching and you're concerned, with what's going on around you? Well, we have a little bit of thunder kind of filling in between these two cells, but nothing severe right now once you get north of the southern portion of Sarpy County. So we're going to keep an eye on what's happening in between at the moment. Nothing but some small hail showing up in portions of the Omaha Metro. But again, on that southern storm, that's the one we're watching so closely now for that confirmed tornado. I do not want to forget that storm off to the north either. There's still tornado potential there, very close to McClelland. That'll continue to move out to the east through Underwood. You're also in that warning. It looks like the main segment of rotation is likely south of I-80 in that area.
And if you're just west of these tornado warnings, the National Weather Service has recently trimmed down the tornado watch, but that does still include the metro. So Omaha, the metro, Douglas, Sarpy, Pottawatomie County, you guys are still all under a tornado watch, but areas west, so like Fremont, you guys are now out of the tornado watch as we speak, as well as Tekamah and Blair, but we still have tornado watches in effect for, there you go, there's the updated tornado watches over the area. It has been trimmed down a little bit, but we will continue on seeing these tornado watches for a little bit longer.
Thank you, Bo. Thank you for that update. So yeah, if you're out to the west, you're in the clear as far as those severe storms. Once this round has passed through, more than likely you're going to be done with that severe weather. We're watching this development out along a cold front boundary, so we really have to keep an eye on that boundary for the rest of the night. Anywhere along it has that potential for a storm to fire, but once it passes through your area, you're cooling down, you're losing that severe threat, but ahead of it, with these two storms here, this is where our entire severe risk lies. And this is what we were talking about, where we have that threat for maybe one or two storms. We have two storms on the map, and both of them are incredibly strong. Tornado threat, wind threat, hail threat with both of these. With that southern storm, current tornado warning with a confirmed tornado. This was confirmed a while back. We're keeping an eye on it as it continues to move out to the east. We've had some reports of confirmation, out along its path. It hasn't been on the ground the entire time. That's going to continue out to the east. It's going to approach Murray here shortly. North of this tornado-warned portion of this storm, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning in place. They've removed that destructive tag. It's down to considerable now. That's still a very strong storm. 60-mile-per-hour winds, 2-inch hail possible. All right, we have a good view of that southern storm that we're tracking. He's looking south at it. You can't see the tornado, which is unclear if it's on the ground now or not, but you can see the clouds. They're very ominous. There's a lot of lightning going on, and looks like a pretty good rain shaft as well. So that's going to obscure the view of the tornado if one were to form, or if one is on the ground. We just wouldn't know based off of that. We have to keep an eye on radar. We have to keep an eye on the storm threat there, and just watch and see how that holds together. So as we kind of recenter ourselves on that storm, pick up our base wind speed here. The rotation on this storm to the south, it just hasn't been as clear as the one to the north. So we've been really relying a lot on those spotter reports and on the storm chasers in the area right now. Unfortunately, just not a good picture, at least from that particular vantage point. There's quite a few chasers on the storm. Keeping an eye on chat here, and it looks like there's a new picture coming in from Underwood. Huge hailstones. It looks like they have the hailstone kind of set up right next to a bottle of Busch Light, and it's about a little wider than the base of the can. I don't know how else to describe it. So pretty big hailstone. Very large hail.
We get it, yeah.
Yeah, large hail, a bit wider than the base of a bottle of Busch Light. So that's kind of how we're measuring the hailstones that are coming in out of Underwood. But really large hail, you get the point. And also that threat for a tornado with that storm, not only down to the south, but also that storm out near Underwood as we kind of take that wider view of the metro.
Let's take a look at it.
Now let's take some of those pictures that we're getting in.
Oh, wow.
This is the one I was talking about, where it looks like a shotgun blast.
Totally. Just look at all that damage, just up and down the full length of this home.
And this is another one. This came in from some family in the area. This is not their home. This is just a home in the area. But you can see just complete destruction. This is one I was describing over air. We didn't have the picture at the time.
Yeah, this is why.
Yeah, perfect example of why you need to stay away from windows when hail is falling, because look at all that damage that it has, that the hail has caused. So yeah, definitely a great reminder to stay away from windows when hail is falling. Still not seeing any new updates as of right now, besides the fact of the hail that you guys showed earlier. Brandon's feed still not seeing anything, so I'm not sure if any tornadoes are on the ground as we speak, but of course we'll continue on monitoring this through the next several minutes.
I do have a couple of updates I want to go over on the radar. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for that storm that includes portions of southern Sarpy County, a good portion of Cass County. That's now spilling into western Iowa. It includes Fremont and Mills County until 8:30. Considerable tag on that. 2-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. We can clear that one and we can go over to that storm off to the north. And it looks like they have also issued a new warning on this one. So I'm not sure if they're going to keep the tornado warning in place or if they're just going to switch over completely to this new severe thunderstorm warning. But this is another one that has that really destructive tag on it. When we see that orange outline, that's our most severe thunderstorm warning. Almost 3-inch hail, 70-mile-per-hour wind. So we were showing you those pictures from Fremont. This is exactly what could happen with this storm. We have the wind and the hail combination, very large hail and very strong winds. And this is including Pottawatomie County. So Avoca, Oakland, Underwood, Walnut, you're in the path of this. Carson, you're right on the edge. More than likely you escape the worst of the hail, but this is going to be a bad one in terms of destruction when you're talking about that combination of wind and hail. We saw the pictures coming in from the Fremont area, from other areas surrounding the metro that dealt with those storms just a little while ago. And this is exactly the situation we could be dealing with here. The radar, it's been underestimating the hail. It's picking it up about 1.5 inches. I think it's probably larger. It's not consistent with the reports that we've been getting in. So we have really large hail with this storm. Likely that core at the moment is right in between McClelland and Oakland. So kind of in this more rural sector here. But Hancock, it's going to be moving into your area. This is all traveling out to the east. So the best you can do in this situation is just get under cover, get into your home. Basement is going to be the best spot. We saw those pictures of the windows just getting completely destroyed. If you can stay away from any windows, that's going to be your best bet as you wait for this storm to pass through. On top of it, we do have that tornado warning out. That's still a concern, but it kind of has been overcome by that hail and wind threats. So we still have that tornado risk, maybe a little rotation with that storm. Nothing's been confirmed on it for a little while, but that hail risk, that's going to be our biggest threat, especially in combination with the wind. Now, Minden, you were included in that warning a little while ago. Now you're just outside of that warned area. So likely you are going to get away without severe wind and severe hail, at least with this storm here, unless it changes paths or spreads to the north. But if you were concerned about that, being in that warning just a little bit earlier, now no longer a concern for your area. Oh, do we have another update?
Yes, I have another update. Cass County Emergency Management has confirmed a tornado is on the ground at 120th and Highway 1. So that is the cell that you're on right now in Cass County. 120th and Highway 1. A confirmed tornado is on the ground. So yes, that thunderstorm right there. If you're in Murray, take shelter immediately. There is a confirmed tornado on the ground, and the system is moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So this was according to the Cass County Emergency Management. A tornado is on the ground, 120th and Highway 1. So take shelter immediately. We unfortunately don't have a live look at that tornado, but it has been confirmed there is one on the ground.
Yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on that storm. There are several chasers in the area, so we're going to be watching for exactly where we see those tornado reports, if we pick up on any clear signs of rotation on the radar. But again, 120th and Highway 1 moving through Cass County. So that's going to be our concern, that tornado on the ground. So make sure you are in shelter as this storm tracks through. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that Highway 1 corridor here with that storm that's been just steadily moving out to the east. So this is going to be one that we watch closely here through the night as it continues to make its way out to the east. This has been a long, destructive storm. It's been staying with us for a while in terms of just how strong it's been, how consistent some of that rotation has been through the area as well. Our radar image, it just doesn't have any very clear signs of rotation showing up on the radar wind speeds, the debris detection, thankfully not picking up on anything there, but it is going to be a big concern as far as the tornado report. That's a big part of some of that coverage, is just seeing those reports come in and going off of those eyes on the ground. Very, very useful. So again, through Cass County, 120th and Highway 1, that's where we have that current report of a tornado on the ground. So current tornado warning out for that area. That'll continue for a little while longer here. That tornado warning, that's set to expire at 8 o'clock. More than likely, with that recent report, they're going to go ahead and continue that warning out to the east, especially considering where we just got that most recent report in from. So again, with this storm, seek shelter, stay under cover. We have a consistent rotation with the southern portion of that storm that's just been very persistent with on and off tornado development. Now, with that in mind, again, that southern storm, you need to be in shelter. We have a new tornado warning that I want to touch on, and that's with that storm off to the north. We've just been kind of bouncing back and forth between these two cells, and we do have a new tornado warning that's been issued just to kind of extend that a little bit further to the east, pull that down to the south slightly. This is again for Pottawatomie County, including Carson, Hancock, and Oakland. It's going to run until 8:45. This is based off of radar rotation. The leg of that storm has been really consistent, and it's just been holding up pretty well. So as we kind of recenter that, Bo, can you give me the speed on that?
25 miles per hour. These thunderstorms are slowing down a little bit. So the cell is moving east at 25 miles per hour.
All right, so really the only city that our map is picking up on that's in the path would be Oakland. We do have a couple of smaller towns within that warning box, so if you're getting that alert to your phone, you need to be seeking shelter. The scope of that cone just does not make its way into Hancock, Carson, or Taylor. But all of those cities are included within this warning, and Oakland, that approximate arrival time here would be coming up very shortly. So you get a little bit of a heads up before that storm gets to you, but you need to be undercover in your basement. Again, there's that considerable, or a rather destructive, damage tag on that storm in general. So that's going to give us the concern not only for the tornado threat, but also for a very large hail threat combined with a very strong wind threat. So this is one that we certainly have to watch closely. And just as I was expecting them to do, they have extended that warning for the storm down to the south of the Omaha metro. That now continues into western Iowa, and that's going to run until 8:45. So Cass, Fremont, and Mills County until 8:45, 2-inch hail and an observed tornado. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that one as well. So a lot to keep an eye on here. Again, that confirmed tornado out along Highway 1. This is all continuing to move out to the east. We can still see kind of that little leg that's been forming on that southwestern edge of the storm. kind of right over Murray. That's where we're concerned with some of that rotation and that tornado potential. No word at the moment on if that is still on the ground.
I just checked for you. A confirmed tornado was located 3 miles east of Manly with another area of radar indication rotation around Murray. So there is a confirmed tornado on the ground 3 miles east of Manly and an area of rotation near Murray. And so this tornado is moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So yes, we got a tornado on the ground near Manly, 3 miles east of Manly, and another area of rotation around Murray. So take shelter immediately. This is in Cass County, moving to the east towards Iowa. So yes.
Yeah, so 2 spots here. So I think we're talking about this spot here and then right here.
Yes.
So 2 areas of rotation within that warning. You can kind of see the little legs of the storm. That's what we have to watch. When we see those, it's a pretty clear sign that something is going to happen. And on that latest radar scan, right by Murray, that's looking a little bit more concerning to me, how it's kind of taken shape a little bit more like a bit of a hook here, a little bit more of a clear sign of rotation in that area. So far, debris detection not picking up on anything, but our radar wind speeds certainly showing some of those brighter spots in that area. So this is going to be something that we have to watch closely. We've had these on and off reports of tornadoes on the ground with both sections of these storms. Currently, the report not near Murray. It would be for that section that's just out to the northwest of that, right here, where we had a more recent report that was out near Manly, and now it's kind of drifting out to the east. But again, we have another spot of rotation out near Murray, and that's the one that we're watching as well. So 2 spots to keep an eye on within this storm here down to the south. So very active picture going on all surrounding the metro with a couple of these warnings in place. As we take that view of the metro, looks like our storms are drifting out of Omaha. Those have remained below severe thresholds, everything that's kind of filled in between these 2 storms. But both of these storms, the one to the north, one to the south, those have remained very strong throughout the evening. Tornado risk on both of these, very large hail and wind threat. Let's go ahead and take that radar picture full. Bo, do you have another update?
Yes, I have an update. I'm sorry. Pottawatomie County, 370th and Hickory Road, tornado on the ground. This is near Oakland, just west of Oakland, Iowa. There is a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is near 370th and Hickory Road. So we got 2 tornadoes on the ground as we speak. One west of Oakland, Iowa, and the other one near Murray and Mandan, if I remember correctly.
Murray and Manly?
Manly, thank you. Manly and Oakland. You guys both, there's 2 tornadoes on the ground. So west of Oakland and west of Manly have confirmed tornadoes on the ground, according to the emergency management.
Yeah, so if you are within either of these warned areas, you need to make sure you are under cover, seeking shelter. Your basement's the best place to be. Another note from the National Weather Service regarding that storm now through eastern Cass County. They do expect the tornado threat to resume as a new part of that storm reorganizes, and that would continue along the Fremont-Mills County line as it continues to progress out to the east. So this is going to be one that we watch closely. Again, that county line that we're watching here, that's going to be just that dark line you see there right near Tabor. So that's going to be where we see maybe a new tornado threat. This is the area that we're watching for perhaps our next risk for a tornado as this storm drifts into western Iowa. In the meantime, through Cass County, there is still that high risk for a tornado. We have that leg that we've been watching near Murray that still looks incredibly defined. That would be on its way into Bartlett here pretty shortly.
I wanted to draw your attention, Emily. This is what was in the path of the storm. We've heard 72nd and Dutch Hall Road a bunch of times. So the Douglas County Sheriff now said from that tornadic activity, they want everyone to stay away from that spot. Okay, so Mike McKnight has some video of that scene I'm talking about. Let's take a look at that. I'm told that
Here we go.
multiple power lines down, and then here
Wow.
looks like a damaged home. You have scattered debris. And then Taylor Johnson is out at 108th and Dutch Hall Road. We have a photo here.
Yeah, let's take a look here.
So it looks like the house isn't damaged from this
Right.
picture, but that looks like an outbuilding that's gone. From my eyesight, that looks like a boat in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, maybe just you know, the garage on site there perhaps,
So
right, covering the boat.
Right. So the sheriff is saying, please avoid the areas between 72nd to 78th. From Omaha Trace to Dutch Hall Road. Dutch Hall Road is an east-west road, kind of, I don't know, maybe a mile or two just north of the county line between Douglas and Washington County.
Okay, yeah, our producer Sam just telling us that OPPD customers without power has climbed yet again. I believe that number clocking in at about over 1,000 now.
Yeah, the most in Washington County, 585 customers, Douglas 388.
Here's a live look on our screen
Dodge,
for you.
34 people. So 1,000, more than 1,000 affected customers, where it looked like that maybe the winds weren't taking down power lines, that
Right.
the tornadoes were just coming and going, and they ended up hitting and
Pretty
knocking
hard,
out
yeah.
some power lines, which is rough because much of the area and the crews are still trying to recover from that last one that cost millions and millions of dollars from the blizzard. I'm sure everybody remembers that one.
Yeah, how could
Seems
you
like it
forget,
was
right?
a year ago, but it was just a few weeks ago.
That's right.
And then I just got reports, thanks to our Dave Zabolinski. He just emailed us saying their cars have been obliterated at a hotel in Fremont. And so, yeah, we also have reports of damage of cars in Fremont. So
Yeah, he just sent in a good video as well. So they're going to work on getting that so we can show you that's also out of the Fremont area. And now these storm threats, thankfully out of Fremont, that's been hit so hard today, but it's now starting to impact other portions of the area. As these storms continue to drift out of the metro, we're going to stay on them for a little while longer, but if we don't get any new confirmation of a tornado on the ground within the next 10 minutes, we'll shift to more on and off cut-ins here through the evening as these storms just continue to drift out of the area, out of the metro area and into western Iowa. And we'll continue to cover that perhaps continuously on our live stream desk and then on and off with cut-ins throughout the evening here on air. But we're going to stay on them for a little while longer. I still have a concern here with a couple of these spots of rotation with that storm that's been moving through Cass County. It's getting ready to move out of Cass County. Bartlett, you are very close to kind of that little southern leg that's been very persistent on this storm. So again, you need to be seeking shelter. Current tornado warnings still in effect for the area. It's going to run for a little while longer here. They've extended everything out to the east as these storms continue to hold together. And they do see some concern still for perhaps some regeneration here as that storm drifts into western Iowa. That warning will continue until 8:45. Starting to push into Fremont and Mills County. As we kind of zoom out here on the wider view and go off to the north where we have a considerable or rather destructive damage tag on that storm right over Oakland. This is where we see not only a risk for a tornado. We have a tornado warning in place. This is based off of radar indicated rotation, but we also see some big concern on top of that for really large hail and wind. So 70-mile-per-hour gusts and up to about 2 3/4 inch hail. So as we kind of clear that off and go back to our hail image here, it looks on radar as though it's dissipated some as far as the hail threat. But again, this just hasn't been as reliable based off of some of the reports we've seen on the ground versus what the radar is estimating that hail size to be. So currently, the radar is estimating that hail size to be at a little over an inch. at its peak, about 1.1 inches, but I think we could potentially be looking at closer to 2-inch hail just based off of how the radar has been underestimating that just a little bit with these thunderstorms. So still a couple of very strong storms out there tonight. The storm threat in general drifting out of the metro, and so far we haven't gotten any recent reports of tornadoes on the ground, and we do have chasers in the area, so that's going to give us a very up-to-date image of what's going on, and they're going to have a really good idea of if something is popping up here or there. So this is something we're continuing to watch here. Bo, do we have any new information coming in on chat?
Just came in from the Cass County Emergency Management. It looks like rotation is decreasing, heading towards the Iowa border in, again, Cass County. So as it heads into Fremont and Mills County, it looks like the rotation is decreasing. Just got another report in Pottawatomie County, golf ball size hail near Hancock, Iowa. So golf ball size hail being reported in the Pottawatomie County storm. The storm in Cass County looks like rotation is decreasing. I'm watching Brandon Kopic's live stream. Not seeing anything right now that's alarming, but of course I will continue on tracking this. There's still, I will mention this, we haven't mentioned this in a while, there's still a considerable amount of dust being picked up, and so it is causing some visibility issues for not only drivers but storm chasers trying to see if there's a tornado on the ground. So there is still a little bit of dust being picked up from these thunderstorms, but as of right now, still not seeing any confirmed touchdowns for these two storms.
Yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on both of these. The good news is, as you were mentioning, we have some reports of the rotation weakening, especially as that storm moves out of Cass County. That report of the golf ball size hail near Hancock, Iowa, that was a report of kind of a trail of hail that had been moving through. So that is now kind of continuing on its path out to the east. So still a lot of hail with both of these storms. It does appear that hopefully that tornado threat, especially with this southern storm here, has started to weaken just a little bit. So as we take a look at the hail, the core of that storm still really, really strong, and that's going to be a big concern here, crossing right over 275 here shortly. It's already likely out to the east of I-29 at this point. Again, this is probably right over Tabor, and it's bringing a very large hail threat with it. Radar estimating some of the peak hail size there likely to be right around 1.75 inches. So maybe add a little bit to that. It's been underestimating, so closer to 2-inch hail, maybe slightly larger possible with that one. Very strong storm. The hail threat going to be a huge concern. Again, we're still seeing signs of rotation on this. We have a couple legs that we need to watch with these storms. Both of them do bring the concern for a bit of rotation. We have this one here out near Plattsmouth. That one is of lower concern in my mind compared to that storm down to the south. Let's see if we can kind of clear that off. And this leg here, this is part of the tornado warning, and that's been kind of more of a concern as far as the rotation. But at this point, we haven't seen any new reports come in of a tornado on the ground. There's plenty of chasers out there, so that's definitely good news. As we kind of take that wider view, hopefully that rotation continues to lessen on that southern storm. Of course, we have to keep an eye on this storm as well. Just south of Oakland, there's a pretty good hook going here. It's actually right through Oakland. They've gone ahead and extended that severe thunderstorm warning out to the east with that storm. So as we kind of take that wider view and recenter it just a little bit, this is going to take us right to the edge of our viewing area, and that severe thunderstorm warning is going to include the risk for 1 3/4 inch hail. They've added that tornado possible tag, so I believe that means they're not extending the tornado warning out to the east. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Maybe they will, but there is going to be the potential for some rotation as that storm continues out to the east, and that's going to be moving through the far eastern edge of our viewing area. That's going to run until 9:15. This is for western Iowa. Again, as that storm continues to move out to the east. So Atlantic is going to be included in that. Griswold world as well. So a couple of storms to keep an eye on here on the map. Do we have any new information or new video coming in at this point?
Well, looking at Branda's live feed, it's kind of hard to tell. I can't tell if that's a tornado on the ground or not, or if that's just dust. But if we take, for capable of taking Branda's live feed, you can see right here.
That looks like it's
dust.
probably dust and rain.
Okay, because at first I'm like, maybe, but then no, like looking a little bit closer.
More than likely the rain shaft and then also the dust that's being kicked up.
National Weather Service saying rotation is getting more organized just east of Oakland. So they may extend the tornado warning, but something, of course, we'll keep an eye on. This cell right here that Emily is zooming into, they may extend the tornado warning for that, as they're saying that the rotation is getting more organized.
Yeah, that's what we were zooming in on just a little bit ago, where I was talking about kind of that hook that's on the edge of that. That's what we're watching here. They're talking about that rotation becoming a little bit more organized. You can see a bit of that bright spot showing up here near Oakland, and then just out to the east of Oakland, where we're looking at that potential for some big spin on that storm. So at this point, as we look at the debris detection, nothing is showing up, but the live radar picture, the radar wind speeds, all are very indicative of the potential for a tornado to form. So around Oakland, I would say give it another 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes at the most, and this storm should be out of your area to the point where you can get out of the basement. You want to stay there for now as this storm continues to pass through. That's going to continue out to the east, moving through the far eastern edge of our coverage area, moving a little bit closer to Atlantic, to Lewis here in just a little bit. This is the storm we're focusing on now as we start to see a little bit more of that rotation strengthen. So we're going to watch these as these storms continue to drift out to the east. Again, as we kind of pull down to the south and revisit that other storm, there's still quite a bit of rotation evident on this one. At this point, we do have a lot of chasers in the area, so we're going to monitor their feeds and send you back to regular programming here. If we do get a confirmed tornado, we're going to pop back on for more continuous coverage. In the meantime, we'll do some more updates on and off here through the night, and some live stream coverage coming up on our streaming page online and on Facebook. So stay with us for more coverage throughout the night.